Hi, welcome to the Rundown Freshwater Show. Ken Fish Herman Reynolds here, and we have a brand new show tonight, brand new format, and a new co-host.
Thank you, Ken. My name is Dave Perrego. Most locally here with the Eastern Shore Bass Masters of Delaware.
And we're going to get right into it. As I said, a new format. The first thing we're going to do is bass news, both local and national. And I'm going to turn it back over to Dave. He's got some great local news.
Thank you, Ken. Coming out of the Division of Fish and Wildlife here, Records Pond down in Sussex County was drawn down in October prior to the arrival of Hurricane Sandy. Efforts to restock the pond, though, have gone well. Looks like they're where they need to be as far as the numbers of the bass population, and things are looking up, I guess, heading into the spring. Also, one other tidbit of information I have, Bob Wallace is our club's conservation director, and Bob has been elected president to the American Fisheries Society Mid-Atlantic chapter. So we're very proud of Bob. He definitely dedicates a lot of his time both at work and with the club and the federation as far as the conservation issues are concerned.
Yeah, and worth noting, where he works is directly with Kathy Martin.
Yes, Fish and Wildlife.
Fish and Wildlife, yeah. So again, congratulations, Bob. You know, it's nice to have somebody we know in a position like that. And
absolutely.
Those Eastern Shore Bass Masters guys, they're all over the Delaware bass scene, and you know, go. Not now nationally. There's been some interesting things going on, but brevity is what we're all about here. Zipper worms, a brand I'm not very familiar with. They're out of Oklahoma. They have just sold out to Case Plastics. The owner of Zipper Worms cited his wife's health issues as the reason for selling. Case Plastics, very known in this area, national brand, and they are very excited about taking on his products. So he must have had something, some good proprietary molds for him to go on and sell it to a heavy hitter like that. The second thing, Z-Man prevailed in their lawsuit against Renowski over the chatterbait. It was proven in a court of law that Renowski's was just very obvious patent right infringement. And note to all, Z-Man seems to have very deep pockets and good lawyers, because they also went after Phoenix Lures for the same thing, and Phoenix went ahead and just settled out of court and in Z-Man's favor. So, you know, like they say, it's okay to make $50 bills in your basement, just don't try to sell one. Kind of the same thing. You know, they take this copyright infringement thing very seriously. Lastly, and again, this is kind of national but local, Skeet Reese held an online auction to benefit Hurricane Sandy victims, and had a wonderful auction. It sounded like, from what I could pick up off of his website, that the auction was held around or on the Thanksgiving holiday, and he only raised, I shouldn't say only, he raised $6,000, which is no pittance, but, you know, God bless him for trying. And again, in his words, his quote off of his line, he said that, you know, it wasn't, I think I have the quote here, it's not a huge amount of money, but it will help with something for someone. And you know, not very eloquent, but it really does get the point across, and God bless him for trying. And a lot of folks came out and helped you know, sign stuff, Aaron Martins, Randy Howe, and others. So fantastic. So with that, Dave, we're going to go to break, and folks, stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rundown. And as we're talking about our new format, we're at the point in the show where we're going to have a debate. And this should prove very interesting, because the topics are going to vary between strategies, baits. We'll probably even be talking about the Bassmaster Classic in the next shoot. But tonight, we're going to be talking about fall fishing strategies. And I think I'll let Dave take the first round. And Dave, what are your thoughts about fall bass fishing tactics?
Well, first of all, I'm kind of notorious for getting owned in fall tournaments. So my experience fall fishing is kind of, my season's winding down. So a lot of times I find myself struggling, especially on the ponds in the fall. But recently, what I've been finding that works best for me is I go to throwing crankbaits and spinnerbaits a lot, on the local ponds especially. Typically, the crankbaits, modeling what I have here, is I like to use shallow to medium running crankbaits, kind of natural in color, and the key for me has been to just work these baits just really slow, almost dreadfully slow. I can fish slow mostly. I'm a big jig fisherman. I love to throw my Texas rig plastic, so I can handle some slow fishing, but using the crankbaits really slow has really worked best for me in the fall. Also, with spinnerbaits, one of my favorite spinnerbaits out there is the Kevin Van Dam Strike King spinnerbait with the big willow leaf blade, either in like white or chartreuse. In the years that I could get onto Silver Lake with my smaller boat, it was just a matter in like mid-October to maybe late November, pulling about 20 yards off the shoreline, just casting the bait towards the shore and just slow rolling that sucker right on the bottom and just waiting for that bump. It's not going to be a vicious strike normally, but it's always like a big, heavy just pull on it. And I've caught some really good bass out of Silver Lake using that method. But spinnerbaits are a good fall pattern in creeks, the ponds locally, and the rivers as well. When the water starts to get really cooler, we're talking like early December, right on through January and February. Some people in the area know about this bait, others don't, but a little blade bait called the Silver Buddy. They're like $4 online, silverbuddy.com. They are just tremendous winter baits. When you're looking at the water temperatures dropping to about 45 degrees is when that bait really turns on. And it's kind of a dummy lure. It's almost like the Senko. You can just cast it out there. What I do is I let it fall to the bottom and just give it a pop, like maybe from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And as you pull it up, you can feel the bait vibrate. And as it flutters down, that's what attracts the bass to the bait. And 9 times out of 10, when you pull that bait up the second time, the fish is already on there. It's a really fun bait to fish if you can handle being out there in the cold. It's one of my favorite all-time winter baits. And we don't normally fish in the winter around here, but finding this particular lure and learning it really well, it makes fishing a lot of fun.
Well, I agree with Dave on some points. There was a time when I considered myself a above-average fall fisherman. My best bass in Delaware came on a Black Friday back in 1985, but of lately, my tournament stats don't really support my claims. But the crankbait thing, that's where I disagree a little bit. My favorite is more bulky, slow-moving lures, such as the jig and pig, or jig with a creature bait in this case. And Dave's particular strategy is a sound one, because many times the fish are not on the shorelines any longer. They're out foraging, but still in all, depending on the body of water, if there's a lot of cover, especially cover close to deep water, there's going to be some toads in there. This guy will get it done. With a slow, again, I think the common denominator, and I would agree on Dave on this point too, whatever you throw, the common denominator is slow it down. Everything's got to be slow. And a big bulky lure such as this is just irresistible. This is crank to those large bass. They're trying to feed up for the winter. And you might not catch a bunch of them, but you will catch really substantial fish. The Senko bite, I pretty much put that away in fall. The shaky head is a tactic that will almost work for year-round. In the fall, I've done well with it, not extremely well. Not so much in Delaware waters, but Lake Anna, I've had incredible success. Shaky head there. The Northeast River is another one. Potomac, you can't ignore that. So, for my money, this is my go-to, and this is probably the area, an area where Dave and I differ. Now, he brought up something about going further into winter. I would probably say by December, January, I'll put this away, and it'll be almost in favor of a different strategy altogether. Silver buddies for me, and rattle traps. And again, I'm fishing the open water, the technique as he described, and his assessment of what it feels like is exactly right. You know, when you're lifting up, suddenly you're feeling weight. I try to give him like a second or two to really load up on it before I set the hook, because sometimes, again, they're not moving very fast, and they're just mouthing it. So you want to make sure that you don't want them to swallow it, of course. But for the fall, I like the more jig, large soft plastics, creature baits, and shaky head. But that so ends the debate. Any follow-up?
None really. I mean, you know, you commented on the jig in fall and then in the winter, but the jig, I mean, absolutely big fish year-round.
So now the next segment we're going to be doing is a lot of fun, and we're going to get Mr. Chris Irby to come around here, and he's going to moderate the lightning round. Chris, how about coming around here and helping us out?
Okay, we're into the lightning round questions, so here we go, fellas. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Top gift for the bass angler.
A brand new pile fishing rod.
Frog Dogs.
Best truck.
Toyota Tundra.
Dodge Ram.
Who's going to the Super Bowl? AFC.
Steelers.
Texans.
NFC.
The Bears.
Falcons.
Favorite bait?
Jig.
Soft plastics.
You guys are doing good. Favorite local body of water, Delaware?
Nanticoke River.
Millsboro.
If you had to choose one line between mono or floral, what would it be?
I'd have to go with Flora.
Mono.
Baseball season, too long?
Who cares, but too long.
Ponds or rivers?
Rivers.
Ponds.
Best morning drink, coffee or soda?
Wawa Dark Roast.
I like the Wawa as long as I got some Buka or some Jamesons.
That's the end of the lightning round, so you guys pick who won the lightning
Well,
round.
you know, there was real quickly, there was a topic that came up, and it might be a further debate for Dave and I, and maybe you folks could log on to delfish.net and let us know this. The question came up, preference, ponds or river. Dave, of course, selected river. I said pond. Let's hear from you folks. Let us know what you think, and maybe we'll make that a debate for Dave and I in an upcoming show. How's that sound?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
I did want to just say one more thing before we start to wrap things up. Bill Walford was our co-host for a long time. We wish Bill well, and we certainly hope that he stops in periodically and helps out with the lightning round and maybe some of the debate. But in the upcoming shows, we have a thought there, the pond river debate. Any thoughts from you?
Not really. We mentioned off camera here about the Bassmaster Classic coming up.
Bassmaster Classic?
That's going to be at Lake Gunnersville, and that should be huge.
Yeah, that should definitely. Probably also in the next taping, we'll probably have more information about, in the local news, the upcoming shows, because we'll be gearing up for that. There might be some news about potential new show. Not at liberty to talk too much about that. But we've got the Christmas lights out. The Festivus is among us.
Right.
So, folks, it's been a great show. We've enjoyed having you here to watch. And hope you have a happy and safe Christmas. And Dave, any closing thoughts?
Thanks for having me, Ken, Chris. I appreciate the time, and I look forward to more shows.
absolutely.
Dave, more to
Thank you
come.
very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Chris, good show as always.
Good show.
Happy holidays.
Stay with us, folks.
Happy holidays.
Look up to the. I think I saw the red light.
You don't see that red light. I can't work in these damn conditions. All right, ready? Good.
Sorry, Chris. You did it again.